Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Destination Pro Wrestling. My name is Tony, and today we're bringing you guys some major news in regards to AEW. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, make sure you click that like button, and please let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. And as always, click that subscribe button. All right, guys, so I'm not going to waste any time. Got a couple different notes. Let's pull it up. We're going to talk about a new commentary team. We're going to talk about 4 new stars who have signed with AEW, and then a little bit of a background behind the idea that they are going to introduce a rankings system. So we got a lot of cool stuff happening today for AEW. So let me know what you guys think. And as always, follow me on Twitter at Tango with Tango. So let's talk about the commentary team. Reports recently came out that Jim Ross will be hitting the commentary booth, but as always, it can't be a one-man show. So who will be joining Jim Ross at the commentary booth at AEW? Well, it's actually rumored that it's going to be Mike Tenay, which, if you guys don't know, he was the famous voice in TNA as well as WCW. And I actually really like this idea that Jim Ross and Mike Tenay could potentially be the commentary team for the AEW shows, not only their television shows, but also the pay-per-view Double or Nothing and the shows that they're going to do in Jacksonville and all that good stuff. So this is actually really exciting to me because I do think these are 2 iconic voices that will be coming together. You know, as you guys know, when it comes to pro wrestling, a good commentary team is really what sells the product. It's actually kind of hard sometimes even going to a live show when you're not used to not having the commentary in your ears. And if you guys ever go to like the NXT show, you guys know how important this is because there's a lot of NXT takeovers I've actually watched before live, and while I've been there live versus watching it back on the network with Mauro Ranallo, you can totally tell there's a difference. So this is actually really, really big, and this is really significant because Mike Tenay, honestly, I thought this was a guy that would end up in WWE at one point. I was hoping he would end up in WWE, at least NXT, but he just doesn't fit the mold, and that's not a big deal. It's not a big concern because it looks like WWE has some other moves that they're making as far as commentary goes, and that's going to be a whole separate video for a separate day. But one thing that you guys need to know, AEW potentially having Jim Ross and Mike Tenay as the leading commentary is definitely very interesting. Now, so far it hasn't come out whether or not AEW will do a 3-man booth or a 2-man booth. So this to me is really, really interesting because if it is in fact 2 people, which is what I prefer, I don't know. I feel like these 2 guys really do excite me, but then, you know, there's some news about rankings and professional records. These guys, for the most part, have, you know, commentated sports entertainment, and sports entertainment, guys, it's totally different from what their goal is. So AEW basically is saying that there's going to have like a ranking system, and there's potential opportunity for, you know, superstars to be given title shots based on rankings. And then there's the concept of superstars having professional records. So when we saw the rally, AEW was talking about how they were going to have wins and losses potentially matter. And I think this is a really big concept to that because now it's less of like a WWE Impact ROH kind of product, but more along the lines of like, you know, UFC or Bellator. So obviously it wouldn't be happening in an octagon, it'd be happening in a wrestling ring, but it's very interesting when you hear the idea of power rankings and a professional record. Now that's my issue with Jim Ross and Mike Tenay. I'm not sure if they fit the mold of a guy like Joe Rogan, who does an incredible job commentating UFC, or if you guys, you know, ever watch Daniel Cormier on commentary. Like, those are the kind of guys that I envision for professional fighting combat sports. Jim Ross and Mike Tenay, I feel like those are the guys I would rely on, you know, really selling the big spots and the big moments and that stuff that really needs an emphasis. So really, really interesting news there. And honestly, I really don't know what's going to happen here, but now there's more news that AEW has signed 4 new stars. Now, unfortunately, in this video, we don't know who these 4 stars are. We know there's a lot of interest coming from people in WWE potentially wanting to go to AEW. We don't know specifically who has signed, but we do know that AEW did sign a total of 4 new members to the roster, which now makes their roster officially 17 people. And that's what we know so far. So once we get some updates, once we start to know a little bit more about who signed with All Elite Wrestling, we will announce it here. Guys, my name is Tony from Destination Pro Wrestling. For more news, coverage, video games, pro wrestling, two worlds that that collide, we're going to bring them here to the channel. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.
You have reached your destination.